Hello and welcome to the lessons. So today I'm going to show you how to play Romeo and Juliet by Straits. It's a gorgeous acoustic guitar piece, and of course originally it was played on a steel guitar. That's what Martin Offler used, but we're just going to use a normal acoustic guitar and it'll sound fine. Now the first thing I want to tell you is Martin Offler uses a different tuning. He uses an open G tuning when he plays it, and I'm going to show you how to tune your guitar to that. And I did think about perhaps just showing you how to play it in a regular tuning, and eventually I decided, no, you know what, I'm going to do it properly. I'll show you exactly properly how to play it, just like he does when Martin Offler plays it. Okay, so let me explain this tuning. So normally, on a regular tuning, the 6th string is an E note, the 5th string is an A, the 4th string is a D, the 3rd string is a G, the 2nd string is a B, and the 1st string is an E. Now what we're going to do is tune the 6th string and the 1st string down to a D. So they've got to go down a tone like this. There you go. So the 6th string is now a D. Now I'm going to do the same to the 1st string. There you go, the 1st string's now D. Now I'm going to tune the 5th string down from an A down to a G, and that also is a tone, okay? A tone is equivalent to 2 frets, 2 semitones. Each fret on the guitar is a semitone. So if you tune down a tone, that's like tuning down 2 frets, okay? Just so you know. Now there we go, we're now in open G tune, and this is what Martin Offler uses. So now we're in tune. There's one more thing I've got to tell you. Martin Offler uses a capo. It's a simple, cheap little device that you can get from any music shop. And what it does, it clips on the guitar neck, and we're going to clip it on at fret 3. And it has the effect of raising the pitch of the notes up by 3 frets. And that's what Martin Offler does in order to get this sound. Okay, there you go. Now, if you haven't got a capo, don't worry. Just practice it on the regular open fret without one, okay? Now, what we're going to do with the capo, when the capo's on, we pretend that that is the open fret. So you're going to hear me refer to this fret as fret 1, okay? Even though it's really fret 4. And this fret is fret 2, okay? Because we pretend this is open. I hope that makes sense. Now, let's begin. The first chord I'm going to show you, the first chord he uses is this one. Now what it is a type of bar chord. You put your first finger across the 5 strings, all at fret 2. But remember, it's not really fret 2, it's really fret 5, but we're just calling it fret 2. I hope that makes sense. So your first finger is holding flat across those strings. Now what I want you to do, it does take a lot of strength from your finger to hold that down, and I want you to test those notes to make sure they're okay. So just use your thumb to pluck strings 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now like I said, it does take a lot of strength from the finger, so don't worry if it's not perfect straight away, you'll have to practice it. Now, put your 3rd finger on the 4th string at fret 4, which is really fret 7, but we're calling it fret 4, and the middle finger goes on there, which is fret 3, which is in between them both. And the little finger goes on the 1st string at fret 4, okay? But your guitar's probably got a dot here, the same as mine, so you can just use these fret markers to see where I really am on the guitar neck, okay? Now, in theory, the 6th string is open, so just give this chord a strum. There you go. So the first bit of finger picking we're going to do is going to sound like this. So what I'm doing there, I'm holding this chord on, and I'm using my thumb and another finger, for example my 3rd finger, to pluck the 6th string and the 1st string both at once. Like that. Now pluck strings 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can see how I'm using my fingers to pluck. I'm using thumb, finger, 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 like this. So each finger plucks one of the strings. I hope that makes sense. Don't worry too much about that. This hand tends to sort itself out. If you just focus on this hand, you'll probably be okay with this hand. So it's going to sound like this. Now, like I say, at first, some of those notes might not be sounding very clear, so you're just going to have to practice this chord. So if you want to pause the video and look at the chord chart and make sure you've got all those notes sounding nice and clear, then I suggest you do that. One of the tips I can give you if you're having trouble with the chord is to bring your wrist round. And the further round you bring your wrist down here, you can arch your fingers up easier. And, you know, and the further back your wrist is, the tougher it is to really get the chord sounding good. So experiment with that wrist position like that. Good. So far we've got this. Now I want you to pluck the second string and then the fifth string. So if you join it together, it'll sound like this. And then pluck the second string and then the third string on the end. Okay, very good. Now you can pause the video now and practice that if you want to. And the next chord is much simpler. It's just the bar on its own. And what we're going to do is this. So what I'm plucking is the fifth and the first string together, and then the third string, like that. So if we join that to the very first chord, all together it's going to sound like this. Fantastic. Now the next chord is even simpler. You just take your hand off and it's just the open strings, and we're going to go like this. You probably don't even need me to explain it. I expect you saw what I did. It's the fifth and the first string open, and then strings 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the second string, and then the third string, and then the first string and then the second string. So it sounds like this. And now what we're going to do is put the bar back on at fret 2 across that fret there, and you're going to pluck the fifth and the second string. And what I did there was hammer my middle finger on to the second string there. You know, you can call it fret 3. So it's like this. Okay? Now just practice that if you need to. Pause the video. And then pluck the first string on the end. So it's like that. Good. Now this is starting to come together now. So in slow motion from the start, it should sound like this. There you go. Fantastic. Well done. Pause the video and practice it now. Now, it's going to start again very similar. But once you've got that far, you're going to do it slightly different. You're going to go like this. Okay, so what that is, if you hold this original chord on and pluck 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like this. And then take your little finger off of the first string so that it's just being held down at fret 2 by the bar, and pluck that. Then take your middle finger off so that it's just being held by the bar, and pluck the second string. So that'll sound like this from the start of that section. There you go. Now it's tough to hold that down. It takes a lot of strength. Even my hand is hurting from showing you that, okay? So, you know, be patient with yourself and practice, practice, practice over and over again. Good. And then it goes to the open chord and does it the same as before. But the only difference is, instead of plucking the first string on the end, it actually strums, you know, kind of most of the strings, just the thinner strings. And then put the bar on at fret 2 and just give that a gentle strum as well. So he does it more like this. This is how he does it. Okay, it's more of a strum. I hope that makes sense. So let me demonstrate this from the start in slow motion. Very good, well done. Well done for getting that far. Now, it basically starts again, and it's very similar. But the only difference is this time we're going to put the bar on at fret 2, and instead of hammering, we're not going to do that. What you're going to do is put your middle finger on and hold it on at fret on the second string, and you're going to put your other finger on the first string at fret 5 on that fret. Sorry, not fret 5, I meant fret 4. And you're going to pluck strings 5, 2, and 1. And then take the first finger off like that. So you're just left with the bar and the middle finger, and pluck strings 1 and 2 again. Like that, okay? So it's good. And then continue on to the next chord as usual. And finish there. There you go, that is the intro of the song. That's it, okay? There's no easy way around it. Just, you know, watch this video several times and practice that over and over again. And over time, the strength in your hand will, you know, your hand will become stronger and the bar chords will become easier. But there's no easy way around it, you've just got to practice, okay? So now we've learned the intro, let's learn the verse chords. And the good news is they're much simpler, because while Martin Knopfler is singing, he tends to strum each chord just once, okay? So the first chord is the main chord we've been using. You can look at the chord chart just to check it. It's actually an F chord. So you just strum it once. Love struck a Romeo, like that, okay? Then the next chord is a D minor. And the simple way of doing it is this. It's the middle finger on the second string at fret 3. Put your little finger on the third string at fret 4. And the third finger on the fourth string at fret 4 also, okay? Now the simple way is to just strum 4 strings, the fourth, third, second and first string. The first string's open, okay? You can do it like that. But the slightly better way of doing it is to rearrange your fingers like this, and so that you can put the fifth string at fret 4 also, okay? Now it's a little bit trickier, but it's worth doing, because that means you can strum the fifth string downwards. And so you can hear that root note as well, so it sounds a bit better. So it's up to you, but I prefer to do it this way. Good. Right, so the first chord was the F. Love struck a Romeo, sing the streets in serenade. And once he's done that chord, he goes to the C chord, which is the bar, just the bar at fret 2 with the first finger. And he plays that one quite quickly, and then goes back to the F. Laying everybody low, D minor, with a love song. And you can see on that chord, that's an A sharp chord, and what that is just the open strings. But don't strum the sixth string, we just want to hear the 5 strings downwards, like that. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let me demonstrate this from the start. F, love struck Romeo, D minor. Sing the streets in serenade. C, back to F. Laying everybody low, D minor. With a love song, open for the A sharp chord. And then he goes like this. So what that is, quite simply, is the third string holding down at fret 2. Give it a pluck and slide up to fret 4. And then put the middle finger on the second string at fret 3. So it's like this. And then you go into the C chord. Finds a street light. And you can see how we went back to open. Did a little up and down strum. Back onto the C. Like that. And then goes back to the F chord. And then goes like this. So what he's doing, he's holding the F chord down, but he's just plucking the string 6, 5, 4, 3. And then goes into the A sharp. Anyway, what you gonna do about it? And onto the C. Okay, let me demonstrate that through from the start. Let's struck a Romeo. Streets in serenade, let everybody know, with a love song, find the street light. What you gonna do about it? Okay, there you go. It's all on the tab at the bottom. You can see the chords and the notes, so it should make perfect sense. And remember, the PDF document that came with this lesson will explain all how to play the song from start to finish and how to join all those sections together. So Martin Knopfler does this verse section again. Okay, and you can see I was strumming it a little bit, but I want to leave that up to you. Just use your own intuition, strum the chords, get used to them, start to feel the, you know, the music. I'm not going to explain every last little upstroke and downstroke, okay? I want you to practice that on your own. And by the way, what I was doing on the end with that C chord, I was just putting my middle finger on the second string and taking it off. Pretty straightforward. So now you've played the verse through twice, he eventually gets to the chorus. It's going to sound like this. Now I'll do it in really slow motion and see if you can follow the chords as I'm playing it. So. And then he does a different chord like this. It's the 4th string at fret 2 and the 1st string at fret 2. And what I want you to do is just strum the 4 strings. So don't pluck the 6th or the 5th string, like this. When you're gonna realize. And then, it was just that the time was wrong. And then it finishes there. And he's back into the intro again. Okay, so now I've demonstrated that chorus, let me explain it, okay? So it's the F chord, Juliet, and then strum it again. Down to the C chord, which is just the bar. The dice was, and then the D minor, loaded from the, down to the C, and then off to the A sharp, which is just open. Back up to the C, and do it again. Back up to the C, onto the F, straight down to the A sharp, and now we do the D minor, back off to the A sharp, and then that's the same notes as we did earlier. Now the new chord, when you're gonna realize it was A sharp, C, D minor, back to C, and then finish on Juliet. You can tell I'm not really a singer. And there he goes back into... And then starts the next verse. Okay, there you go. That is all the parts from the song. So let me demonstrate this in slow motion all the way through what we've done there. From the start. Streets and sand. Verse again. And verse. There you go. That's it. I've showed you how to play it, okay? So now it's your job to go back through this lesson and watch it over and over again. Now, there's a few things I do want to say. I've been playing this D minor chord like this, but some of you might find it easier just to do this like this, okay, without using the 5th string, because that makes it easier to go from the C bar onto the D minor, but make sure you just strum the 4 strings if you're going to do that. Don't strum the 5th string or the 6th string. I hope that makes sense. The second thing I want to say is it is tough. The bar chords are hard to hold down, and the finger picking is quite complicated. So, you know, well done for tackling such a tricky song, but it will take practice. The third thing I want to say is Martin Offler has got an entire band with him, including pianos, another guitarist, a bass guitarist, and probably other bits and pieces as well. So, you know, with one guitar, we're never going to be able to make it sound exactly like it does on the album, because you might hear little notes here and there, and it could be the other guitarist, it could be the pianist, it could be the bass player playing something, okay? So with the guitar, we just do the best job we can. The fourth thing I want to say is the strumming that I'm doing is just gentle strumming up and down, okay? Just experiment with it. I'm not going to explain every last down and up stroke, okay, on the lesson. You know, use your musical intuition. Develop your ability to, you know, to strum like that, okay? And it'll be worth it. It'll benefit you by practicing and experimenting with your strumming. Good, there you go. Enjoy the lesson. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon in one of the other video guitar lessons. Goodbye.